Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram. 10th and 11th words together. Brahmanyadhaya karamani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate na sa papena padmapatramivambhasa kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Bhagavan explained what is the nirliptata. Nirliptata means not getting tainted by actions for a Jnani. Bhagavan said Jnani is the one who does all the actions, but because he is abiding in that actionless self, he doesn't superimpose any of those actions on himself. But devotee said, Bhagavan, that is too high for me right now. I'm not able to appreciate what is this actionlessness amidst action. That kind of perspective is slightly difficult. Can you tell some in-between, easy to practice sadhana by which I will get the same result? Karma should not come and bind me. I should not get affected by karma. So verse number 10, 11 and 12 is an elaboration of Karma Yoga in chapter 5. Bhagavan says, first, if we can find an altar in life and build a sambandha with that altar, build a connection with that altar, instead of saying God, Ishvara, Bhagavan, this devotee says, my Bhagavan Krishna. That myness with the Lord is his first step on this path of devotion. Whenever it is generic, sambandha cannot develop. Relationship with Bhagavan cannot develop. If we say, I worship all gods. Nothing wrong in worshipping all gods. But I should have one with whom I connect in a very special way. That is what is called our Ishta Devata. So much so that the blossomed expression of this devotion is when the whole life of this devotee revolves around Bhagavan. Not literally, but in every action that he does, the thought is, Bhagavan is watching. Whatever he does at home, whatever food is cooked, he has to offer as prasad to Bhagavan, offer as naivedyam to Bhagavan, so mindful about what is getting cooked. Same with action, same with thought. In Srimad Bhagavatam, as we had seen last time, Karma Yoga is called as Murti Puja. Worshipping Bhagavan in one form is called as Murti Puja, is called as Karma Yoga. Now you might wonder, generally what do we say? Karma Yoga means do all your actions devoted to Bhagavan. In Bhagavatam it is said that devotion is not possible unless we invest time exclusively towards Bhagavan. And that is our daily puja, daily ritual, daily sadhana, where we build that sambandha. Then throughout the day we cannot sit in front of the altar, make world as your altar, and then do your duty keeping the same bhava in mind. That this particular thing I am doing for Bhagavan. That is the meaning of the word Brahmani Adhaya Karmani. Adhaya means well kept. Samadhi word you must have heard, right? Samyak adhiyate, where you keep your mind very well in that truth, that is called as samadhi. So here also Brahmani adhaya, mind kept in Bhagavan, remembrance of Bhagavan. Karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. He does all these actions with this clear idea that Bhagavan has blessed me with this particular duty, given me the resources for accomplishing this duty, and I need to offer it back again to the same Lord. Sangam tyaktva is that the moment a sadhaka forgets this, sangha comes in that karma. That is what we call as kartrutva, doership, and insistence on a particular result is our enjoyership. So Karma Yoga, Bhagavan says, this is the main fundamental principle. What it does is, lipyate nasa papena. Whatever limitations of karma could have been there, whatever papa karma this person could have done, is untouched by any of those negativities of karma. Traditional example for this is opening a jackfruit. When you open a jackfruit, we don't put our hand directly in it. You say put layer of oil, then you open. Directly if you open, it will be very messy, the whole thing. So it is said karma if we enter without this idea that the real doer is somebody else, the real altar at which I am offering is somebody else. Says without that, if we enter, that same karma will come to bind us. That is why this example is given. Padma patram iva ambhasa. In water, just like a lotus leaf lives, but yet doesn't get affected by the water. Scientifically also they say there is a layer, right, on that leaf, which protects that leaf from the water. Like that, Bhagavan says, devotion or surrender is a layer which will protect us from the pitfalls of karma. Whenever we get the question, what is practical application of Bhagavad Gita in everyday life? All these verses are for that only. He says in everyday life we are doing karma. Nobody has a choice for that. The only question is how? And we will notice wherever we start something on our own and have a sankalpa of our own, that is where it is very hard to let go. On the other hand, if that sankalpa becomes Shiva sankalpa, we have taken that with the help of some higher altar in whom we have Shraddha. We can still be very efficient, still be very diligent, yet not get caught up by it. That is the beauty of Karma Yoga. Then Bhagavan elaborates it a little more. He says, how does he do karma? Lipyate nasa papena padma patram ivam bhasa, he said. But how is this Jnani doing karma? He is doing through kaya, through physical body. Manasa, through mind. Buddhya, intellect also is getting used. Indriyas are also getting used. Sense organs are also being used. But only key word there is kevalaihi. Now all this we have discussed in the last class. What is the meaning of the word kevalaihi? Without mamatva means without strong opinion, strong insistence. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji just writes, mamatva varjitaihi. But we have to understand that word very carefully. Generally, what do we say? If you give some work to somebody and that person does it haphazardly, you tell that person to draft something and you receive it back, all errors are there, some paragraphs are half completed. Now what do you tell that person? you didn't have your heart in this work. Technically, he can also say, mamatva varjitaihi. I didn't have any attachment to this work. That is not what is spoken here. Mamatva varjitaihi doesn't mean he is doing it half-heartedly. Mamatva varjitaihi means he has gotten mamatva in Bhagavan now. And he is doing his work, letting go of his individual mamatva. For a greater good, keeping Bhagavan's sankalpa in mind, he is accomplishing the same work. This is where doing seva of Shraddheya will give a closer glimpse of what Bhagavan is telling here. In whosever life, whomever we might have served, apply the same thing. If we are doing seva, there is kaya getting used, manasa is getting used, mind is getting used, buddhi also should get used, indriyas are also getting used. But what will be mamatva varjitaihi there? Doing it such that our Shraddheya is pleased. Shraddheya means in whom we have Shraddha. Whoever that person might be, doing seva of our Shraddheya without mamata means doing it in such a way that our Shraddheya is pleased with us. Now the question is, how can we have mamata towards Bhagavan? Mamata means closeness. How do we have more mamata towards Bhagavan? The simplest, easiest method for increasing this closeness to Bhagavan is to become krutajna to Bhagavan. Sanskrit words are beautiful. What is the literal meaning of krutajna? Gratitude. But you see that word itself, jna means to know. Kruta means what has been done. The one who knows, one who acknowledges whatever has been done to him. That person is called as krutajna. Krutam janati iti krutajna. Not in past lives or any other life that we don't remember anyway. In this life itself, what all things Bhagavan has given us. That when a devotee meditates, when he thinks about, that becomes his doorway to connect with Bhagavan. The one who is ungrateful of what he has received, the one who chooses not to see what he has received, that person is called as krutagna. Krutam hanti iti krutagnaha. Krutam janati iti krutajnaha. Krutajnaha. Same mamata comes to him when he remembers what all things Bhagavan has blessed him with. It's all a matter of introspection, all a matter of reflection. So his sambandha with the world, his relationship with the world is first with Bhagavan. And through him, he has all sambandhas. Once Bhagavan is removed from the equation, any sambandha becomes an attachment. It is just like if somebody joins a new workplace. The day you sign the offer letter, you signed only one offer letter with the company. But that brings 5 sambandhas. One person becomes employer, another person becomes manager, third person becomes co-worker, and so on. You have so many sambandhas just with that one sambandha. But the day you say, I want to go somewhere else, now you have to break sambandha with how many people? 5 or 1? Only one. Only one. Because that was the main center point of all sambandhas. Like that, for a devotee, Bhagavan is his main sambandha. I'm blanking on the name of the saint. He has composed one composition called as Govinda Ashtakam, or I'll find the Madana Mohan Ashtakam. Madana Mohan Ashtakam. There is one line which comes, Bhagavan is our Antima Bandhava. Antima Bandhava Dehi Padam. Jaya Ganga Jatadara Neela Kalevara. That is how it starts. Madana Mohan Ashtakam. Means only relative that we have is Bhagavan. Bandhava means that. Antima Bandhava. Keeping him in mind, he has all other sambandhas. That is how he is able to offer. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyehi api yoginah karma kurvanti. All yogis, they do karma minus the limitation of sangha. Without attachment, without possessiveness about that karma and karma phala. Tyaktva atma shuddhaye. We had seen different pointers from Sundarakanda. How do we know whether our karma is for Atma Shuddhi or Ahankara Prasiddhi? What were the four things? After finishing the karma, do I get a deep sense of fulfillment? If it is for Atma Shuddhi, that will be the result. Not that everything has gone well, because his resolve is right. Even if work doesn't turn out the way he wants, because his internal resolve is right, still there is peace. Example for this is Jatayuji. Externally, who looked like a failure, internal resolve is very pure. He says, Bhagavan, I am very peaceful in spite of not being able to accomplish the goal. You look at Ravana, whatever he came with, he succeeded. But he says, mind is turbulent, mind is agitated, in spite of getting what he wanted to get. So Ravana is Ahankara Prasiddhi, Jatayuji is Atma Vishuddhi. All these pointers are from Sundarakanda. Hanumanji, when he goes, he says, I know I will do this work because I am feeling a sense of fulfillment inside, sense of joy within. Second one was, after doing the work, has our previous vasanas deepened or has it thinned down? Now this can happen even in a good work, that we didn't have certain vasanas before, but after we started doing it, we got more vasanas in and through that thing. So Hanumanji says, Lanka was Bhoganagri. In spite of being there, he was not affected by any of those bhogas. That is the power of devotion, doing karma for Atma Vishuddhi. Third one was, how easily can I drop it? Whichever karma we have taken, do we have this clarity that karma by itself is not the goal, it is only the means. If that karma is taken up for Atma Vishuddhi, purity of mind, that sadhaka can drop it very easily. But if it is for Ahankara Prasiddhi, then dropping is not easy. Last one is, how do we feel internally when we are praised? If that sadhaka feels very happy internally, externally we don't, externally whatever vyavahara needs, that we have to do. So internally if he feels very happy, that is a sign of ahankara. Sadhaka is the one who is very, very uncomfortable with this ahankara stuti. So much so that Maharaji would say, even if somebody calls Jnani a Jnani, he is uncomfortable with that Jnani title also. Because Atma was never Jnani, Atma was never Ajnani. To take the title of Jnani is also bondage for a Jnani. What to talk about other praises? This again is from Sundarkand, where Bhagwan Rama praises Hanumanji. And Hanumanji says, Bhagwan, I have gotten trapped sufficient. Now please don't trap me here. Whatever is accomplished was your grace. Now don't take me back. All this is for reflection on the word Atma Vishuddhi. External result is one, but what we are really seeking is internal result. Going on a pilgrimage, walking from point A to point B, 14 miles, 14 kilometers. External result is you will reach that place. Internal result is what did I do while I was doing that Padayatra? If internal result is not paid attention to, external result alone does not fulfill the purpose. In every pilgrimage center, there are so many Sherpas who walk the same route, probably thrice a day. Now within that also there might be devotees. But the point is, only external result is not the goal of a sadhaka. When it comes to karma, karma will always have two results. One is external, one is internal. External is how the work was done. Internal is what was the state of my mind after that work was done. All these are different facets Bhagavan is opening of Karma Yoga. Now third one, Bhagavan says, Karma Yoga only, last verse in this topic. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim karena phale sakto nibadhyate. First line is of Karma Yogi. Second line is of Karmi. Second line is not somebody who is lazy, tamasic. Second line is for somebody who is very dynamic, but is not a Karma Yogi. Bhagavan says, Yuktaha. Yuj dhatu means to connect. Yuktaha means what? One whose mind is connected with Bhagavan. Previous verse only we saw it, Brahmani adhaya karmani. 2 verses before we saw, 10th verse. Means his mind is always remembering the Lord. One whose mind is connected with Bhagavan, that person is called as Yuktaha. Yuktaha naishtikim shantim apnoti. That Yukta Purusha who is doing his karma, offering to Bhagavan, he attains supreme most peace in life. Naishtikim Shanti means that peace of absolute bliss. Means you should remember the stations in between. Yoga Yukta became Vishuddhatma, became Vijitendriya. Vijitatma then became Vijitendriya. Then is Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Means he went through his journey, developed a beautiful mind, did Vedanta Shravanam, and he is abiding in this absolute peace now. That was Arjuna's question, right, in the beginning. If this Shanti is what I want, why are you pushing me into karma right now? Can I not take which sannyasa? Vividisha sannyasa. That is the main question of 5th chapter. Between Karma Yoga and Vividisha sannyasa, which one is better? Karma Yoga. Now Bhagavan is telling that same Karma Yogi who is Yuktaha, who did his work remembering the Lord, will attain that Paramashanti. How did he attain it? What was his main sadhana? Karma phalam tyaktva. He gave up all karma phalas. Now we saw the meaning of tyaktva also. Can we actually give up karma phalas? No, the moment you do karma, karma phala will come. It doesn't even ask us. That is the nature of karma phala. It will not ask, can I come? It will also not ask, can I leave? That is how karma phala comes, unasked. Whenever it has to come, it will come balat. With force it will come, give its fair share of joy and sorrow, quietly walk away. From where it comes, that is where we get surprised. Arey, it came from here. So nothing surprising. Nothing surprising. Guruji would say that he has traveled so much, seen so many things. He would say, I never get surprised now. The only thing I get surprised is from where the surprise is coming. Where you least expect, from there it will come sometimes. That is how this karma phala works. So what is the meaning of the word karma phalam tyaktva then? Accepting karma phala with prasada buddhi. That is what is the meaning of the word karma phalam tyaktva. Dropping this insistence that this karma phala has to be in a particular way. That is the meaning of the word karma phalam tyaktva. It is said in our life, we have to manage only 3 things. First thing is vastu, objects. Whatever objects we have, car we have, home we have, cell phone is there. All other objects we have to manage. Second thing we have to manage is vyakti, people. Sambandhas are there, relations are there, colleagues are there. Vastu and vyakti together form paristhiti, situations. That is the third thing we have to manage. First one was vastu, second is vyakti, third is paristhiti. In all 3 things, we are better equipped to manage it if we accept these 3 things as they are to begin with. Only when we accept vastu, vyakti, paristhiti as they are to begin with, we are better equipped to deal with vastu, to deal with vyakti, to deal with paristhiti. In Gurudev's talks, you must have heard 2 terms, right? One is called response, another is called react. 3rd chapter, again and again he says this. Do you have the choice to respond or do you have the impulse to react? Response is a pratikriya. Pratikriya means our action done thoughtfully. Done thoughtfully. Reaction is something impulsive. Now, acceptance is such a great blessing that it will allow us to respond and not react. This is in Sanskrit called as Swikruti Samarthya. Swikruti means acceptance. Samarthya means ability. The ability to accept a thing as it is gives me the strength to respond in the best possible way. Now take examples. Let us start with paristhiti. Paristhiti means what? Situation around us. In Ramayana, when Bharatji comes back from his uncle's house, what does he see back in Ayodhya? Everything is turned upside down. Father is no more. Bhagwan Rama has been sent to the forest. Everything is chaotic. And people are doubting Bharatji. You have read that portion, right? When Bharatji comes back, nobody talks to him. They say he also has a hand in this whole thing. The first thing Vasishtha Maharshi does is makes him aware of what is the situation. First-hand information, he says, these all things have happened. Let us first accept whatever has happened. Not accepting that fact removes his ability to respond. And whatever Bharatji does after that is a perfect example of Swikruti Samarthya. Means how acceptance of a situation enables a person to respond better. What has to be done next? What is the planning needed? What is the right decision? All of them tell Bhagwan, one boon of Dashrath Maharaj, Bhagwan Rama fulfilled. What was that one? Going to the forest. The other boon of you becoming the king, you have to fulfill. Even Vasishtha Maharshi tells Bharatji this thing. Bharatji says, whatever all of you are saying is true from dharma standpoint. But I have a conscience. I have an inner voice which tells me I should ask Bhagwan directly. Let us all go to Chitrakoot. That is how he takes everybody to Chitrakoot. That prasanga, if we read, it just gives an insight into this particular ability. Karma phalam tyaktva means not running away from that situation, hoping that somehow it will be solved. Karma phalam tyaktva means if that situation has come, let me accept it as it is. If Bhagwan has given me this thing, there is something that I have to take away from it. There is some reason for which he has given this situation. That itself is tyaga of karma phala. Now apply this at all levels. So many paristhithis come at physical body level also. I had met one sadhaka once. She went for some medical exam and something got diagnosed and she was unable to, some nerve problem was there. Turned out to be a little major and went through a surgery and everything. Unable to lift her hand above her shoulders. So all of us went as a courtesy visit to see how she is doing. We thought we are going to console her, things are okay, everything is fine. Go to see, she was in such high spirits that she was cutting jokes on, what she is going through. He said, if somebody comes and says hands up, I'll only do like this. The other person will feel, is making some fun out of me and so on. And what she said was, see, it is my life. And this is the situation I'm faced with. Now I have a choice. Either I can keep blaming somebody, keep grumbling about where I am right now, and be sorrowful. Another option is look at it differently and go through it. That swikruti of what I am presented with gives that samarthya, gives that ability to respond differently. If somebody is able to do it, that itself is a great blessing of Bhagavan. Swikruti samarthya. This was with regards to paristhiti, situations. Next one is vastu, objects. Objects also, more we accept their nature, happier we will be. Now, so many things we buy, so many things we have gotten with this idea that it will give sukham. And more we go with this idea that if I get this, everything will be fine. Proportional is our vulnerability to get disappointed. One sadhaka was telling me, very lot of fascination for car. So much research he did, 3 months he spent, finally brought one. But the moment you sit inside, something will happen that will remind you of this fact, that Vastu's nature is like this. And you know what it was? Road noise. Driving on a freeway, you cannot hear what the other person is talking. He checked everything except this. And I tell you that sorrow which comes right after you buy that thing, you cannot replace with any other thing. But sadhaka's mindset is, he said, I knew this was coming. If not today, tomorrow this vastu will disappoint. There is nothing surprising over here. That is just another mindset, how we want to live life. This time, I don't know, when I went to India, every experience looked Vedantic to me. Small things, Probably it's because you look for those things, or it just, comes in front. Same point, acceptance of vastu. One home, I had to live there one evening. This Amma, she started telling me about a rat problem. She said there is a rat problem in our house. A lot of things happen. Then suddenly I got into my problem-solving mode. I said there are different traps available. Ones that will not harm the rat, you can also take it and leave it far away, and so on. While I said all this, she said, Somji, actually, we are not bothered. 25 years we have been living here. Evening we keep a fruit outside. It eats and it goes. And even if you remove this rat, there are 50 others outside. Something will come in and do something. See, the main point is Svikruti. It is not to say we should live with rats. Either you spend all your life trying to fix those things, or first accept what it is and then respond. Paristhiti done, vastu done. What is the third one? Vyakti. Vyakti also the same thing. The moment we can accept a person as they are, that gives a great samarthya to be there. In any sambandha, any relation. See, more mananam we have to do on our own, but these are pointers from Karma Siddhanta and Karma Yoga. Just like you accepted Paristhiti, just like you accepted Vastu, see, Vyakti also one should accept. Manu Maharaj has said one thing, only that person who can understand himself can understand others better. Now, what is our bhavana with ourselves? Do we like others to change us, or do we say, accept me as I am? We want acceptance from others. So Manu Maharaj says, just like we feel this way, every jiva feels the same way. That is the power of acceptance when it comes to Vyakti. If you read life of saints, none of their lives were perfect. In the midst of all imperfection, they strived for individual perfection. You must have heard Jnaneshwar Maharaj's story, where his wife would always be upset at him. Because whenever you talk to him, always he's taking God's name, always in samadhi. No time to run family. She would say, this is how you run a family? Finally, they had some sugar cane. She cuts it and says, go sell this and come. He goes with his big bunch. On the way, children come and ask, can we have one sugar cane? He says, my Vithala has come, gives all of them one sugar cane. Finally, he comes back home with one. He says, see, Bhagavan is so kind, at least one is there remaining for us. She starts beating him with that sugar cane. He says, one thing I gave you, that also you couldn't do. and it breaks into two. What does he say? Bhagavan is so compassionate. You take one, I take one. Both is good. In Socrates' life, he was also similar person. Always in philosophy, always deep thoughts. Simple question, deep answer. Sometimes very frustrating. Huh? So wife would be always annoyed, always upset at him. One day she comes and scolds him. No response. Quiet. Then she comes and pours bucket of water on him. Then he makes that famous statement, after a thunder, shower is natural. The point is, Swikruti Samarthya. We have to live our life, more we can have this Swikruti. That will give Samarthya to that person. I'm using the Sanskrit words, but I hope the meaning is clear. Huh? Swikruti Samarthya means the capacity or the ability to accept. But Swikruti Samarthya also means acceptance gives Samarthya. Acceptance gives strength. That way also we can take. That is the meaning of this word, karma phalam tyaktva. We cannot give up karma phala. If Yakti has come, that is also karma phala. We cannot give up. Vastu has come is karma phala. Paristhiti has come, that is also karma phala. All these things he takes as Bhagwan's prasada, goes through it with acceptance. Now first line was for whom? Karma yogi. And second line was for karmi. What is the condition of karmi? Karmi means is very hardworking, minus Bhagwan. That person is here. Ayuktaha means his mind is not connected with Bhagavan. You have heard the word kalakar? Kalakar means one who is prompted by kala. One who is prompted by art, that person is called as kalakar. Inspired by art, prompted by art, he draws that picture. Chitrakar also. One who is prompted by that chitra, to draw that chitra, that person is called chitrakar. If the one who is prompted by kala is called kalakar, one who is prompted by chitra is called chitrakar. One who is prompted by kama will be called what? That is the next word. Kamakarena. Ayuktaha kamakarena. One who is prompted by strong desire, whenever he starts anything, his mind directly goes to, I hope this will happen this way. I hope this result will come in this way only. That person, phale saktaha, because he has so much insistence on karma phala, nibadhyate. That person is bound. In spite of doing lot of work, see, this is not for a tamasic person. Huh? This is for a karmi. Because he has forgotten the altar which has given him that work, unto whom he should be offering that work. Because of that, he has become nibadhyate. He is bound. Okay, 3 verses on Karma Yoga. Brahmani adhaya karmani, starting from there, all the way until phale saktaha nibadhyate. You can write a nice essay. All different themes in Bhagavad Gita. Open up every word. Find relevant examples, relevant Pauranic stories, and try to understand that word more. This is how you do recaps. Right? Same format. Now this was of a karma yogi. Now Bhagavan is talking about karma sannyasi. The one who is abiding in this truth. What is the final destination? One who is doing this. One who is abiding in naishtiki shanti. Just now he said, right? The one who is given up karma phalas, he abides in this naishtiki shanti. What is his nature? Sarva karmani manasa Sanyasyaste sukham vashi. Navadvare pure dehi. Naiva kurvanna karayan. Sarva karmani manasa. Sanyasyaste sukham vashi. Navadvare pure dehi. Naiva kurvanna karayan. Now this is for a Jnani, not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, 3 verses, Bhagavan completed. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. This Jnani is the one who has renounced all karmas. All actions he has renounced. So Bhagavan, you only said in 3rd chapter, nobody can renounce actions even for a minute. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyatehi hyavashah karma. That person will be prompted, pushed into karma. You cannot be actionless even for a fraction of a second. Sitting is also an action. Sleeping is also an action. Talking is an action. So how did you do this? Sarva karma sannyasa. Manasa. Manasa means through knowledge. Through knowledge, he renounced all karmas. Now, which is this verse in 4th chapter? The prana verse of 4th chapter. No, don't tell me the number. Karmani akarmayah pashet, akarmani cha karmayah. In karma, he is seeing akarma. Through that knowledge, he has renounced all karmas. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. In the midst of all actions, he has recognized himself to be that actionless self. So karmas are only superimposition on this Atma. That is why the word has come manasa, not bhavanaya. Bhavanaya means somehow or the other you trick your mind to say, I am giving up karma, I am giving up karma. Sometimes people use it in the wrong context also. They'll have some addiction and they'll say, that I just do, I am not attached to it. It is not that kind of sannyasa, not bhavanaya, but this one is through knowledge. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, viveka buddhya. Through viveka, he has understood all these actions to be a superimposition on the self. Sannyasya, giving up all actions. Vashi means one who is well controlled in his sense organs. In sadhana phase only he started controlling sense organs. After knowledge, will that control stay or go away? It will stay. It is effortless, it is natural for that Jnani. That is this Vashi. What does he do? Sukham aste. Lives very happily. That Jnani, who is Jitendriya, well controlled, lives very happily, having renounced all karmas in his understanding. Lives very happily. Where does he live? Second line. Navadvare pure dehi. He lives in the city of 9 gates. This body is city of 9 gates. 7 gates are in the head, 2 are below. Shall we count? 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. 7. Anus, genital organs, total 9. In this deha, which is of 9 gates, this Jnani lives like an onlooker in that deha. This metaphor is very beautiful. You can reflect more upon it. Just look upon this body as a city. City has how many departments? Several departments are there. First one is planning department. That is this intellect. Planning department plans everything, does everything. Then there is treasury department. It said our stomach is the treasury. Goswamiji writes this. He says, everything goes into the stomach and then it gets distributed all over. Then you have defense also. Eyelids, you know how they protect the eyes. Karmendriyas, organs of action, very protective of this body. So many nerves, so many things running around inside. Just like a city. Goswamiji writes, Indriya Dwarat Jharoka Nana. This body is like a palace which has windows from which you can look out. Indriyas, sense organs, they are like windows. Jharoka means in palaces, like if you have been to Hawa Mahal in Jaipur, those small windows which are there, they are called as jharokas. He says all these indriyas are like jharokas. Indriya Dwara Jharoka Nana, it's like a city inside. And this Jnani is an onlooker living in this deha. Whatever sukham comes, he just sees. If dukkham comes, not surprised. There was a devotee who went to a saint, great Mahatma. One thing he saw, in his room all the shelves were empty. At least books should have been there. Nothing is there. No possessions, nothing is there, all shelves empty. He asked that Mahatma, how come everything is empty? How do you manage to live such a minimalist life? He looks at this devotee. He says, your bag also looks very thin. You have come with this tiny little bag. How do you manage to live with such a tiny bag? He says, I'm just a traveler. I have come to this place for a few days. That's why I can manage with this. Mahatma says, I'm also a traveler. Not going to be here forever. Minimal things are good enough to sustain. Means he's watching the drama of ahankara, drama of life, staying in this body. Not identified with ahankara, not identified with physical body. Bhagavan Krishna or any avatar, one of the name of Bhagavan Krishna is Natavara Vapuhu. Nata means actor. Natavara means Oscar-winning actor. Very, very skilled in acting. Natavara. Vapu means the one who is an embodiment of such a great actor. That is our Bhagavan Krishna. You read any of his leelas, this point will come to mind. When he is tied in that Ukala Bandhanam, Yashodaji tries to tie him. Oh, such tears he sheds, looking at, such an innocent boy, and you are tying me here. And with that she feels, very compassionate, feels, what am I doing with him? Finally he gets tied, but right after that, uproots that whole mortar and gives moksha. So Bhagavan is Natavara Vapuhu. All leelas are like that. It is said just like Bhagavan is Natavara Vapuhu, Jivan Mukta is also Natavara Vapuhu. One who is a realized Jnani, living in the body, means he has not given up body yet. Dehi word is used to show that he is a Jivan Mukta. Otherwise Bhagavan could have said Videhi also. Risen above body identification. Or given up physical body. We are not talking about that Jnani. Talking about a Jnani who is in physical body, watching this drama of life. Pashya samsara natakam. Natakam. What is the catch there? Atakna nahi hai bas. Natak, if you split, it becomes na atak. Atak means to get stuck. He says, don't get stuck with anything. This is how this thing is going to unfold. Now there is a Purva Paksha. He says, you said, Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. Naiva kurvan means he knows he is not the doer, he is not the karta, and he is not karita also. Neither does he do, nor does he make others do. Kurvan means himself doing. Karayan means making others do. So he says, I am neither the doer, nor I am the prompter. And where does he live? Lives in Deha. Now the Purva Pakshi says, you said Jnani lives in Deha. What is so great about it? Say, Ajnani also lives in Deha only. If Jnani lives in Deha, where does an ignorant person live? Outside Deha. So no, he also lives in Deha. So what is so great about saying this line, Jnani lives in Deha? This Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he raises this Purva Paksha. There he says, ignorant person will never be able to say, I live in this body. Because in his understanding, I am the body. So he will at most be able to say, I live in the house. And he can say, I am sitting here, I am doing this, I am doing that. But just like you are saying, body lives in house, he will never be able to say, I live in this body. So it is one thing to say, I am the body, which is ignorant statement. Another is to say, I am expressing through this body. So Jnani says, I am expressing through this body. Ajnani says, I am the body. Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. He is neither the doer nor the prompter. Do you want a slightly technical meaning to this last two words? Naiva kurvan is said from Jivatma standpoint. As ahankara, as individual, there is this understanding that I am karta. So Jnani is not identified with individual conditionings. That is why he says, Naiva kurvan. I am not the karta, I am that pure consciousness. Karayan is said from Ishvara standpoint. What do we say? Who is the main prompter of all the actions in this universe? You say Ishvara. But Ishvara is prompter only from Sopadika standpoint. Only with total conditionings, Ishvara becomes Karayita. In his essential nature, Bhagavan is also Shuddha Chaitanya. Not Karayita also. So that Jnani who has understood Mahavakya, Tvampada and Tatpada, that Jnani is making this statement, Naiva kurvan na karayan. I am not the doer, I am not the prompter also. It's a very beautiful verse for meditation. Whenever we look at Aham, I, if we say we have understood Vedanta, then our understanding of Aham should be the second line. Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. I am expressing through this body, but I am not the body. Watching the play of this samsara go about. Now the connection to the next verse is beautiful. It says, you said this Jnani took sannyasa, right? And did sannyasa of kartrutva. Did this kartrutva go away after taking sannyasa? Or was it not there in Atma to begin with? Answer to this question is next two verses. Okay? We will see in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.